Boxing's. He was on Miss Boxing's live. I just said hello to him.
Mm. What's
Pretty
the?
live going now.
I'm trying to think. Shoot, what's? Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. 100 kilos is 220. About.
220 pounds. Yeah.
It's for us, like the bar, like each weight is extra pound for us. So one plate for us is 45 pounds,
Yeah.
not 44. So you
Yeah,
start
44 pounds a plate is, yeah.
Yeah, we 135, then 225. So every plate, we're a pound bigger,
Yeah, yeah.
and it adds up, of course, as you go
You
further.
see, over here as well, we have some of the weights are like we get to. You must have them in America as well. 25-kilo disc instead of 20-kilo disc.
Well, I've never seen any that big. Well, I've seen 100 pounds.
Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, we have the old York, old York, and the old Ivanko's. Is it Ivanko weights? Yeah, what Arnie used to train with years ago.
Yeah.
Ivanko, they're called.
Yeah, those powerlifting weights.
Yeah, them old Ivankos, they're fucking great weights, Sam.
I don't see any 35-pound here anymore. People just get 5s, 10, 2.5, 25, and straight to 45. There used to be 35-pound weights, but I guess the newer gyms don't do that anymore. That's about 15 kilos, I think.
Yeah. Do you know on your plates, do they say kilos or is it just pounds? What they say? Because yeah, you see at the gym where I go, they say kilos and pounds. It'll say like a 20-kilo disc. It'll say
some of the weights. Some of the weights will have pounds and kilos, but most of
it says 40. It says 20-kilo disc / 44 pounds.
Yeah, I was arguing with somebody online about why he said, why do Americans have to be different inches, yards, feet, miles, stuff like that. I said, I prefaced everything. I said, well, I'm pretty biased, right? I'm from here, so I'm going to go. I mean, that's my, measurement. But I said, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense to divide everything by 10 because you don't have as many whole numbers. You have more factors when you use numbers like 3, 4, 5, 12 as basis.
Yeah, yeah.
So what would you like to say 76.2 kilos when you can just say 180 pounds?
Yeah. I see your point. Yeah.
More divisible. That's the mathematical reason why we use that, but we're also biased.
We're also biased.
Oh yeah, like I won't use Celsius at all. I mean, I can convert. I have it in my head because.
Salute Kenneth Johnson. Salute to you, bro.
What's going on? Yeah, always have Celsius. I'll have meters and stuff in my head because I do that in school, right?
Yeah.
Math, science stuff. Like I can convert. I know the Celsius conversion to Fahrenheit right off my top of my head, easy.
So that's over my head, shit like that, mate.
Yeah, just what you do is you multiply Celsius by about close to 2. You multiply Celsius by 1.8, and then you add 32 degrees, and that's Fahrenheit.
Don't mean nothing to me, mate.
What's that?
I was fucking thick as fuck at school, mate.
What's the temperature now? And I'll convert it for you.
Say again.
What's the temperature now where you're at? What's the weather like?
Temperature?
Yeah.
Let me click on it. Say 9 degrees.
9 degrees. Okay.
Yeah. So, in my location, 9 degrees and cloudy.
Right. So if I round that up, say it's like 10 degrees. So that's 18. 18 plus 32 is 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
Yeah. I just have it right off the top of my head.
You're a professor, man.
Nah.
Me, I don't know shit like that. See, I was in the bottom set for everything at school. That's why I fucking do the job I do. Is there any fights on tonight? What?
I doubt.
No.
It's been coming up canceled or whatever. Yeah, and even then, like that were scheduled, weren't, they won't blow your hair back.
Won't blow your hair back.
Nah. Yeah, Kenneth Johnson. You just know the conversion right off the top of your head because you're always doing stuff. You're doing stuff in Celsius and meters. Well, engineering, we'll do Kelvin. You probably know Kelvin, Kenneth Johnson. We use some of those conversions, so we just not really need to know it. They'll have it on a test or homework. You Google it, it doesn't matter, but you just use it so much, you get used to it. I know I did. Well, I don't do too much mechanical engineering anymore. That's my degree, but I don't do too much.
Yeah, I know it's engineering. What is it, mechanical or electrical engineering, what you're doing?
Mechanical, but I'm trying to, the classes I'm taking as of late and next year, it'll be more
Stormy
stuff.
Right, yeah. Salute to you, Stormy.
What's going on, man? Salute to you, brothers. How you doing?
Yeah, bro. Have you just tried ringing me on Hangouts, Stormy?
On Hangouts? No.
It just come up. It said that Stormy B-Man is on the line.
I don't know why I did that because I did go on my email. I was responding to an email that somebody sent me, but and my email, my Gmail, and my Hangouts are still active. So maybe it saw you when we were like on a group. How we used to do the group chats and stuff. Maybe it said that because of that.
Yeah, I just said to Tyrone, then I said, I think Stormy's trying to ring me because it's just come up that he's on the line. So I said, can you text him, tell him that I'm talking to you?
Yeah, I was sending an email. I was sending an email to CB Sports TV because I'm trying to get him as the next guest on the In the Eye of the Storm.
Oh, right, yeah. Fair dues. So how are you anyway, bro? You all right?
Doing good, man. Feeling really good about today's show. Did you guys catch it? I thought it was awesome, man.
No, I didn't catch it, mate. I was out today. I've been out today.
Check out the archive, man. It's like that show was awesome. The Three Wise Men this morning, man, it was awesome. It was awesome.
I'll go
probably the best show yet.
I'll go back to that now. Smash the like button.
Yeah. What's up, Tyrone? How you doing?
Man, not much. Just I was sleeping all day today, man. I was supposed to go home and my ride, I guess. I mean, he picked up my brother from the airport, my dad, and he said he was too tired to drive up all the way here. I don't blame him. So maybe tomorrow, maybe later on this week, but no classes. No, they basically, told everybody to leave if you have a family or something, basically. And everything's going to be remote now. So I'll just.
Where are you, Tyrone?
I go to school in Pittsburgh.
Just smash the like button, bro.
I'm sorry, Laws. I was trying to hear. Where are you?
I go to school in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah, I live near, right on the coast of Maryland, 30 minutes from the beach. The beach, quote unquote. It's really just a swamp.
Oh, okay.
But that's about 8 hours from where I'm now. Yeah. Let me see what Ken Johnson said. Yeah, I used to work at a civil engineering firm. Yeah, Kenneth. Yeah, I was talking. What was I saying? Laws. Yeah, why I was switching to or doing more electrical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, mechanical is cool and all, but I mean, most of the stuff is really theory. It's gotten to a point where computers handle all of that. I mean, to CAD something in SolidWorks or do force balances or diagrams and stuff, computers usually take care of that. When I was working in different jobs over the summer, I mean, most of us didn't even do an equation on a daily basis. Honestly, the most we ever had to do was add a couple numbers together and just, run in the simulation.
Yeah.
With electrical, it's more coding, and I feel like I'm it's more for the future. And I'm not the only one. A lot of guys are moving to robotics or things like that to kind of get prepared. I mean, Mechie is cool. You can do consulting and stuff, but it's older, you know. Electro is newer, and I guess I like it better. I don't know.
Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about anyway, boxing wise? There's not a lot happening.
I went back and I caught some of the fights or one fight from that ShoBox.
I didn't see any. I went to bed after.
But I didn't know who none of them were at all. Nobody. I knew no one on the card. No one. And when I was looking at the telecast, I mean, there was literally maybe 40 people in the audience total. Maybe. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, the sickness and stuff like that, and it was a smaller show, but
yeah.
I mean, they could not. You know how it's like it's showtime and the lights go from 90 degrees to, you know, they go from like straight down and they go up 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Those lights didn't even move an inch. They just said it's showtime and stayed right there. Because if you had panned out, there would have been nobody to be found.
Yeah.
I mean,
been an empty arena then, brother.
Yeah, they had to curtail everything. I don't even know where they were fighting at. Probably some Indian reservation casino or something.
Well, it's what we call over here local leisure centre.
The leisure center.
Yeah.
That's probably like our YMCA on it. Well, you have a gym in those things and you have entertainment, right?
Yeah. Leisure centres, yeah.
Like a combination of stuff.
Yeah. It is what's happened to Uzi? Fat Dusty Miller? Is there anything? When's he boxing? Because I've not heard. Last I ever heard of him, he'd signed with Bob Arum, hadn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I think most of these guys, because of what's going on, whatever plans they were thinking about doing,
yeah,
or dreaming about doing, you know, it's just all been put on ice. I don't know how long this thing is gonna go because shows are getting canceled. I mean, all our sports here is canceled right now.
Yeah, they're doing that over here, bro. Football's been cancelled till rugby, I think, till 5th of April. I don't think there's any boxing on over here anyway. I've not heard of any fights being on. I've not heard them say that they're cancelling any fights over here, but football definitely, because obviously there's 20 teams in the Premier League and the majority of the stadiums hold like 60,000 plus.
Yeah.
So that's what the reason why they've cancelled them. But yeah, I was just thinking about Fat Dusty Miller the other day. I was thinking, fuck me, man, he fucked up a life-changing.
He dropped the ball.
Oh, didn't he just? Life-changing fight with Joshua.
Yeah.
You know, could have fed him for years, that could have, couldn't it?
Easily. Especially with all the food he eats.
Yeah, them damn cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
What are you on, Stormy? What have you got to say, bro?
Well, like I said, man, I kind of been riding the wave off of this morning's show. We looked forward to putting that together, and the title was basically there's levels to this in boxing, and we use that as a metaphor for everything, talking about the levels in boxing, whether it's the levels of a fighter ascending in his career, descending in his career, or the levels of challenges that he may have faced, or the turnabouts that may make someone dig deep and go somewhere they haven't gone before. It was an all-encompassing study, and it was very good. A lot of people in the chat that were participating. I picked up about 5 or 6 subs off of that show today, because I guess it was like, you know, people are listening in, and, you know, maybe listening in from different areas, you know, that, and they liked what we were talking about. So very positive.
Good thing is as well, Stormy, because you talk about obviously fighters from the past. I believe there's a big audience out there for people who talk about past boxers. I think so. Anyway, I think he's just finding them, isn't he? You know, like I've always said to you, Stormy, I would rather speak about fighters from the past than the fighters of today. Any day, I would. I'd rather talk, you know, about Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, Tyson, Spinks, all fighters like that, Ray Mercer. I'd rather talk about them than the heavyweights of today.
Well, the irony is we didn't go too far back on the fighters of today with the content, but it was the subject that was so much more important because we were able to tell and show that fighters prior to this present era, they fought in primes, you know, and these guys are going into their 30s today and they still haven't fought anybody. You know, it's like, when are you going to step up? When are you going to take that plunge into pushing your legacy forward? And that's kind of like what we were sharing. That wasn't the premise, but it allowed for us to reveal those things. Like we talked about Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns fighting for the first time. Tommy Hearns was 22 and Leonard was 26 when they fought the first time. When they fought the second time, 8 years later, of course they were in their 30s. You know, it's like guys are older now. But it's like, think about that for a moment. Would you have liked to see Earl Spence at 25 fighting Sean Porter at 25? Because what that would mean is if it's a great fight and their fight that they had was great, it's like, how about seeing it a couple more times? You know what I'm saying? It's like you could get the most out of these guys because they're not going to do anything but learn from the process. And somebody's going to get better. You know, they both may get better. If they both get better, that means that one is going to have to prove that he got better than the other. It's like, this is what you do to stimulate the growth of the sport. And it's not happening.
Yeah, damn right. Big Curtis is here now in the chat.
Salute to Kurt.
I can put the link if you would like.
Yeah, man. And the thing about that is like, okay, Earl had this car accident, and I raised this on my Friday night chop session last night. He had the car accident. Well, he and Bud could have fought last year. He could have had 2 fights last year, one against Porter, one against Bud. Then we would have had an undisputed champ, right? Why it has to be more marination? Fight. It's like now he had the car accident. Now, whoever he fights going forward, there are going to be people that say, if he struggles, the car accident affected him. Yeah. That's going to be an asterisk. It's always going to be hanging over their head.
Yeah.
And then if he blows people out, they won't probably mention the car accident. But, and this is not me hating on him or anything. I'm just saying, imagine if they had faced one another prior to certain things changing in someone's life. Now, Bud is like 33.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to be an old guy in the sport. You understand? Very soon.
Yeah, he's clocking on now, isn't he?
So, for as talented as he is, we haven't seen him at his best because he's not fighting the best. And it's not just on him. It's on everybody around there that's out there available for him to fight too. Because if these guys were interested in proving themselves against the best of competition and being the best that they could be, then they would give us those type of fights so we could actually see. Well, why do I have to sit up and wonder or falsely follow someone because on paper I think of what they could do?
Yeah.
I mean, so those are the kind of things, you know, we talk about them.
I'm going to go back and watch this. Most definite.
Yeah. Up on these fighters, man. They do have pride. They do have egos.
Yeah.
But if you give them an out, they'll take it. And giving them an out is saying, well, I don't think that Spence should fight Bud because who has Bud fought? You know what I'm saying? When you say that kind of shit, you give him an out. He's like, well, the fans feel like, hey, he ain't fought nobody, so I shouldn't fight him.
Yeah.
When he knows damn well Bud is a good opponent.
Yeah, of course.
He don't drive flies. He don't put no butts in the seats. But I bet if the two of y'all fight, there'll be plenty of butts in the seats to see.
And all that shit.
You know?
That's great talk, Stormy. Do you know what, Stormy? I think that's the trend now in boxing, isn't it? I think a few fighters have done that now. They all seem to want to be doing that. There's only a rare handful of fighters what actually want to fight the best. And that's what the reason why I like Wilder, because he was always trying to fight the best.
I saw when Wilder came over to you guys and he knocked out Ali Harrison in a round. He went on.
Yeah. Audrey.
He called out Tyson Fury. It was like what Wilder was, I want to say 27, 26, trying to fight him then.
Yeah.
When the David Haye fight, when David Haye pulled out, Sky didn't want to install Wilder because they said it was too big. He was too unknown of a name or something stupid like that. This craziness.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
If you look at it like this, Loss, the biggest, Joshua is going to fight Pulev next, of course, whenever we could get, the fights back on schedule and everything. He's supposed to fight Pulev. But if he went after the fight with Pulev and said, you know what, fuck it, I want Luis Ortiz, okay? Yeah. And before the end of the year, I want Luis Ortiz. You would have to take your hat off to Joshua, At least he's stepping up and he's finally fighting somebody. Win, lose, or draw. And if he loses, it's not a bad thing because you're fighting quality opposition. It's like, how many times do you think that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury can fight with one having a victory over the other? The fact that they fought two fights and you got two different results, that comes at the top of the sport when you're fighting quality people.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Facts. Luis Ortiz fought better in the second fight than he did the first fight, but had Deontay hurt more in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you keep fooling around. Hey, if they had a third fight, Luis Ortiz might win. You just don't know until they get in the ring. That's why you got to have the fights. We could sit up and speculate all we want. We can fucking speculate that tomorrow's going to be fucking 90 degrees. But it don't have to be. It'll be fucking 32 like it is here in the shop. You understand? So it's like on paper don't mean nothing. Let's get it in the ring.
Yeah. Thing is, though, Stormy, you try to tell that to the fans, man, and they'll criticize you, won't they? Especially the casuals, not the hardcore.
You know what else? I don't even believe that because on paper is what it is. On paper, because you give them an out. It's like having the internet. I could sit back and talk shit from my keyboard.
Yeah.
See me go out there and put it into action, and you be like, "Oh, okay, fuck, he know what he doing." You understand? So, in other words, they can speculate and say all that stuff, fan service. But I guarantee you put Bud Crawford and Earl Spence in the ring with each other, the next time they can fight, the fucking fans will be there to watch it. It'd be different if they wouldn't come, but they'll be there.
Yeah.
So it don't matter. It don't matter if one guy don't have pay-per-view numbers or another guy ain't built his legacy enough. If you fucking put them in there together, people are gonna fucking tune in.
Yeah. And you know what, Stormy? I sort of got a bit pissed when Earl did that because Cal Brook went over to America, didn't he, to watch that fight? I can't remember who it was who was fighting, and they bumped into one another in the crowd.
Oh, Hard Lara.
Yeah, and Brook was saying, let's do it again. This time you won't win, and blah, blah, blah. And Earl was saying to him, you ain't got no strap. You don't bring nothing to the table. Why would I want to fight you again? And I sort of thought to myself, along those lines, I thought, that was a good ass fight, that first fight. Let's see it again. I would love to see Spence versus Cal Brook again. That was a fantastic fight.
Yeah, and Cal Brook is a former champion, so why not treat him with respect like one?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson once said, we have to give each other fights because that's how we make our living. Where is that with these guys of today?
Yeah.
No honor amongst thieves. Oh, you took his belt, but he ain't good enough to give a rematch to. But you were good enough for him to fight the first time. Maybe you caught him at a bad time. Maybe he's had a chance to regenerate and replenish himself, and he can come back and give you a better fight. Are you afraid of that? Or is it just you just want to be made to look good all the damn time? And that seems to be what it is at the end of the day. Most of these guys just want to look good all the damn time. Well, there's something about a mirror. A mirror can not only just show you your negative image of yourself, because it's just a little distorted when you're viewing it, but a mirror is made of glass and it fucking breaks. Huh? How about that?
Yeah.
Let's say salute to Kurt. Kurt is in here.
Yeah,
Come on and join the conversation, Kurt.
I'll be back in a
Hey,
minute.
Stormy, Lars D, Tyrone Smith, what's going on? I'm not going to be out here too long. I should have put my phone in the charger, but I love talking real boxing, man, and I just had to jump on because that seems to be missing these days. That's all I got to say about that. But we could have a golden age in boxing if and we don't have some good fights, man. You got I don't know, this fight's still gonna go on, but the boys and Joyce eventually is gonna fight, and you don't get fights like that, like you did before. And like Stormy said, we talked about it on our show that Hearns is only 22 years old, and you let these fights marinate too long. Joshua and Wilder, they should have fought already, money and people and promotional companies use it as an excuse because they want a leg up or whatever. Spencer Crawford's getting up there very slowly.
Yeah.
And the welterweight division is going to change in the next couple of years, because they'll be in their mid 30s, or close to it, so this fight, if it doesn't happen this year or next year, is not going to happen, and now because of Spence being irresponsible, something that nobody seems to want to talk about, he leveled the playing field. It's bad for him because now Pacquiao wants to fight him. Pacquiao didn't want to have nothing to do with Spence before the accident. And he's smart. He smells blood in the water. He's an experienced fighter. He knows that being a fighter himself, that it's highly unlikely he will ever be the same again because it happened to Sandy Sattler where he got into a car accident and he was never the same. So I hope he's 100% or close to it, but I don't know. Somebody asked me, I said, I really don't know. I'll be surprised, but we'll see what happens. So just like Stormy said, if he lose, it's going to be an asterisk. Well, Spence fans going to say, well, he's not the same. There's an excuse and he had the car accident. But you ask yourself, it's his fault. Somebody didn't hit him. He was the one that was drunk driving.
Yeah, and that's another point. You exactly right, Curtis. About a lot of people don't notice Crawford's age. Crawford turns
33 and
33 by the end of this year. Yeah, he turns 33 this year. And, time is ticking. Spence turned 30, I think. Did he turn 30? I think Spence just turned 30. I want to say. Yeah, he did.
We need to see them fights, don't we?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And like I said before, we could have a golden age. Now you got Fury that came up and surprised everybody. Joshua and Wilder should have happened. Crawford and Spence should have happened already. You had some great fights at junior middleweight. We in the last couple of years we did have some very good fights. But it could be even better. We need that. We need more super fights. Fury and Wilder turned into a super fight because of the rivalry, but Joshua and Wilder was a super fight organically. So that fight should have been made already, and we'll have some interesting fights that's coming up. But boxing to survive, and pay-per-view will never die because you're always going to have a fight that will capture the public's imagination. Wilder and Fury did 1.2 million. That because it was promoted great. They did a great job promoting that during the Super Bowl. I mean, it was everywhere. So as long as you have good promotions and you're willing to put money into a fight, you will have a successful pay-per-view. So I would like to see Spencer Crawford. I would like to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I think like Laws was saying, guys, or I mean, what Stormy was saying, some fighters today, you give them an out, they'll take it. When Laws, you were talking about at the Herd Lara fight, and
yeah, my bad.
Something to Cal Brook.
Yeah,
and Cal Brook is like, let's fight. Spence was like, fuck you. I had to go over to your country. You didn't want nothing to do with me. I beat you. And now you have to bring something to the table now. It's kind of like that mentality now.
yeah.
In that case, I don't blame what Spence did, but like the Crawford stuff, the fight needs to happen, I think, now.
But the thing is, though, Tyrone, like Stormy said before, not Spence, Cal is a former world champion, so you got to treat him with respect. Not only that, Cal Brook gave Spence that chance, so why not do it back? Because I do believe that Cal would have gone over to America and fought him. I'm not saying he would have won, but I'm saying Cal did say that he wanted that fight. Well, we seen it. He was in the crowd, but then Spence was coming with all that BS. You've got nothing. You don't bring nothing to the table and all that. That would be a sellout in America. I'm sure it would. Cal Brook and Spence too, because the first fight was such a fantastic fight. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going off what I think it would, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Curtis.
No, I'm sorry. That's true. Some people believe Cal Brook done seen his better days, but I think it'd be a good fight. I think Brook will get up for that fight and give it a good contest. I really truly believe that, because he has a name, he should, get another shot at the title, if he comes to America or not. That's how I feel about it. If he could fight Spence in a rematch or Crawford, I would like to see Cal Brook give it one last chance. Remember before he was a strong welterweight. So I think it'd be a good opponent for either or. Because I just don't think Spence is going to be the same fighter. I could be wrong. I don't have no problems being wrong, but car crash and you're a fighter, man, that's tough.
Yeah. Curtis, am I right? I could be wrong. Am I right? I think I've heard you once say that you would pick Bud for that fight if they ever fight.
Oh, between Crawford and Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will pick Crawford by either decision or late round knockout because I see mistakes that Spence makes. He was making them against Brook and Garcia, but Garcia didn't have the genetics to take advantage of that. He backed straight up. I said that out of all the superstars fighters that I can see Wilder, Spence, and Tank Davis losing in the very near future.
Yeah.
And I told people there was going to be upsets in 2020, but with this coronavirus, it kind of like shut down boxing for a while. We lost out on a couple of fights today, the Kirkland fight and the Kirkland and Shakur Stevenson. Who's from my hometown, but because I see mistakes that they make. Tank out the ring. Spence crosses his feet, moving straight back. Crawford will take advantage of that because people forget Crawford gets hit, but he's a dog, man. Sugar Ray Robinson got hit a lot, but he was a dog, man. So I just got this feeling, Spence fans from Texas, they was killing me, man, because they were like, no, Crawford ain't fighting nobody. And I was like, listen, he's a 3-time weight division champion. And he has, to me, the best skill set, you know, and what fighter puts on his Instagram getting hit flush and congratulates the guy who hit him? That's what Crawford did when he fought Calvin Caucus. When he was getting hit, he took pictures and put it on his Instagram and said, "Thank you, Mean Machine, for putting up a better fight than most people gave you credit for." That's a fighter right there.
Yeah. Wow. Respect, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always liked Bud Curtis because I remember when he came over here. He came over to Glasgow and beat Ricky Burns. Now I know some people like take the piss out of Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns ain't no elite fighter, but you can't take away from Ricky Burns. He's a freeweight world champion, and at the time, I know at the time, Bud came over here in Scotland, which was and he fought him. I think it was at Hampden Park at Glasgow, and it's quite a hostile place. The fans are very close to the ring, and Ricky Burns, they were all Ricky Burns fans, and that shit just didn't faze Bud at all. He came over here, whooped his ass, took the belt, and went back home. So
yeah,
you know, he is a dog, man.
Yeah, but you know, people, they underestimate opponents. It's not easy. If a fighter who's supposed to win get a second round knockout, okay, it went the way we thought it would go, but it's not easy. Plus, going to a foreign country, man, and everybody is against you, man, and you know, and you fighting a guy who may not be world level, but you know, he wants to win. What makes him dangerous, man? He got everybody rooting for him. It takes on a psychological thing. You know, ask Jeff Lacey, how did that work out when he came to England and took on Joe Calzaghe? Ask him how it worked out for him.
Didn't he? Yeah.
It was supposed to be next big thing.
Yeah, I remember that. And do you know what? Do you know what made me laugh about that? Joe sort of, he slapped him a lot with them punches. Joe can't.
Slapper.
Yeah, he did. But he did, because I can remember, very similar to my second favourite fighter of all time, God bless him, Gerald McClellan. Jeff Lacey over here, the media had him as a massive favourite to demolish Joe Calzaghe, and very easily as well. And the same with Gerald McClellan. He was a massive favourite. I can always remember the Sun newspaper did an article on Gerald McClellan. I can't remember what the words were, but basically, Curtis, it said, it didn't say this, but basically they might as well have put Nigel Benn is fucked because he's going to get an arse whooping. And the same with Calzaghe when Jeff Lacey come over. I can remember the media over here saying he's the next Mike Tyson, because he was small and stocky, wasn't he? Them neck muscles, traps in his shoulders, and and like you say, so it's a psychological battle more than anything to come to a next man's country, fight him on his own turf, and just completely block out the fans, everything, and just go to work on him and win. That's why I like Bud, because Bud's, he's done things like that. And I was, before the fight, I was 50-50 over who would win that fight, because I thought Bud might be, coming up to 147. I don't know if he was a true welterweight, but since seeing Porter in that Spence fight, I don't know. Porter showed me some different things in that fight, that Spence isn't the Superman that everyone claims that he is to be.
Well, getting back to certain fighters who are strong mentally, like, I give credit. This is one of British most brightest moments in boxing history, where Lloyd Huntington was talking and talking and talking. What I'm gonna do to Donald Curry, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make him quit. He ain't nothing. Yeah. And I give him credit because he came over to America and beat the snot out of the Donald Curry, made him quit on his stool. You know, and he said what he was going to do, and he did it. You know, see, coming to America didn't bother him, and you know, I give him credit. You know, and just like Spence had a rough 6 rounds against Brook, but he turned the tide after 6 rounds. It was all Spence. You know, so certain fighters it doesn't bother, but certain fighters it does. Most fighters it bothers when you're fighting in a foreign country.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, Curtis, not only did Spence beat him on his own soil, he actually beat him on his own backyard. He went to his own city, his own football ground where he's loved, and beat him on his own beloved football. He basically might as well have walked in his house and beat him up. You know, he actually went to his home city town. He didn't just like go to London so the fans were mixed from all over the country. He actually went to his hometown and beat him where they were all his hometown fans. That's something special in my eyes,
That is true. And Laz D, and I'm a big soccer fan. I'm one of the few Black Americans who love soccer, man. I've been watching soccer since the mid '70s, man. So I'm a big soccer fan. But you know, Spence is a very good fighter, man. You know, he's Superman, he's not. But I like the old fighters because fighters like Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson, they fought overseas a lot. You know, Sugar Ray Robinson fought in 3 different countries in 19 days. You know, England, France, and Germany.
Wow.
In 19 days, he fought in 3 different countries. He took a tour. That word entourage comes from Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, he had the midget and the barber and all these fancy suits and all this luggage. Ali fought everywhere. You know, Switzerland and England and see that builds character.
Yeah.
When you're used to going overseas, it doesn't bother them guys. They could have fought on the moon, you know, but these new guys, now Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweather refused to fight in foreign countries because what happened to them in the Olympics, Floyd was just recently in England. He still might be over there. I'm not sure, but I know he was in England this week, but they were scared to fight because they was afraid that they was going to lose, get ripped off, whatever. But and I understand that, but when a fighter fights, in a foreign country and he can block out the crowd, that means he's strong mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. That's real talk, that, bro. Curtis, can I ask you a question? And same with you, Stormy. I'm sorry, Tyrone, for keep butting. I'm going to shut up in a minute. But do you two, with you two being like historians, do you two find it hard to watch modern day boxers compared to boxers from the past?
I'll answer that because I ain't gonna stay on that long. But thanks for inviting me, Todd. But yeah and no. Yeah, because you become spoiled. You see fighters like Tommy Hearns and Evander Holyfield, Aaron Pryor, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Roberto Duran, Salvador Sanchez, Rafael Gomez. So you get spoiled. And a great fight today was a regular fight back in the day. When you could take a fight of the year today, that was just regular stuff to us. And we expected it. I just don't like the politics of today. It takes too long to have a good, great, or super fight. It takes way too long, where it was the norm back in the day. But I don't want to sound like a old guy with sour grapes. I'm just lucky that there's been good fights, like I said earlier. They just wait too long to make the super fights, and these guys is not as good as the guys of old because they don't prepare properly. Let me ask you this, Tyrone and Stormy and Laz D. When did last time you seen a high profile champion lose 13 out of his last 14 rounds? That's Wilder against Ortiz, Wilder against Fury. where he was so ill prepared, he looked like he didn't belong in a ring. That wouldn't have never happened to Larry Holmes. It wouldn't have never happened. That's my point.
Wow, great. Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, that's great. Great talk,
I
Stormy.
would like to
I'll be
add
back.
on to that. I don't look at the fights today like, you know, with over criticism or disdain, but I do look at the trainers different because I don't think the teaching is there. Too much of the old technique and what has made the sport great by guys learning those techniques, the generation gap and where the teaching has fallen off has helped the sport to suffer as far as how the matches are contested. That's what I noticed and I get frustrated with. And like Kurt just said, like a fighter like Deontay Wilder, how do you show up in a big fight like that, the biggest fight of your life, and you lay that much of a dud of an effort, you know? And it's like, yeah, you could say some things weren't right or whatever, but it's like still this was the fight for it all. It was the fight. You had to put this guy away. It's like, and Kurt and I have had conversations about it where we say, well, we hope that the brother has an understanding of what this fight will mean, you know? And hindsight being 2020, I don't think he really did know what it would mean, because as you've seen, certain people come out the woodwork and they celebrate his loss. They celebrate the fact that he's not the champ no more. The fact that some things that have transpired in history, there's been a spin on it, and you've had even older people like Larry Merchant come out of the woodwork. Larry Merchant was dead. He had dirt on him. Okay, he had there were flowers, a headstone, and this guy came up out of the grave to gloat, to make comments that were disparaging and disrespectful. See, when you fight in a event that is greater than what you see beyond your nose, that's the type of thing that you have to lay to waste and to put to rest. And some people don't understand that. They still don't understand it. And
Stormy, not to cut you off, what did you say about Larry Merchant? I was away, but I heard you get on Larry Merchant. What did you say?
I said he was dead. He was laid to rest. He had a headstone and dirt on top of him. And Wilder's loss brought him back from the grave.
Literally.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Great talk, Stormy.
And the thing is, it's like this event was bigger than the eyes were able to perceive. There were so many people celebrating Deontay Wilder's loss. He has no idea. He has no idea.
Yeah. I mean,
And I can't even stress it enough, because even as I speak on it right now, I still can't emphasize what this was supposed to mean.
yeah.
Now, when I say supposed to, that means about the effort given, the focus, standing of what must take place, what must have transpire, and then the inevitable of what did.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Stormy? The hate, just going back to you saying people were celebrating him losing. I've seen so many comments on different boxing channels. The hatred for that man is unreal. Why, I don't know. And I've always stressed this. You would have heard me say this many times before, Stormy. I've had endless arguments with trolls and people at work and, just general boxing fans. And they always say, oh, he's a bum, he's this, that, and the other. And I always say to them all the time, how, did you like Mike Tyson? Yeah, I loved him. Great. Knockout king, blah, 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 blah. If you like Mike Tyson, how the hell do you not like Deontay Wilder? He was not exactly, well, I'm not saying they're exactly the same fighter, but I'm saying if you love Mike Tyson for his knockouts, then surely you must love Wilder for his knockouts. But the difference is Wilder actually is knocking everyone out. And then they don't seem to have an answer for that. Yeah, but he fights bums. I don't know, man. Like I've always said, I think Wilder will be one of them fighters. He won't get his recognition until he's gone. 20 years down the line, people actually realise what a great fighter he was.
Well, see, what Wilder represented was this. There's always been and how you go about it. He came to boxing very late in his career. Yeah. I mean, in his life, as far as a boxer. He was, 20 years old when he walked into a gym,
Yeah,
and he took it up, and he had some success, and he went into the amateur, and he went to the Olympics. He medaled, and he came in accomplishing these things beyond guys who had started when they were 7, 8 years old, and it come easy to him to have the bit of success that he had. And so people don't like that. It's like you could live on the block and you take care of your lawn. You plant flowers for the season and everything, and you stand out there, you spend hours watering and everything. And then the guy a couple of houses over, he see your yard and he's like, oh, that guy got a nice yard. I'm going to do the same thing. And then he try to put something down and it don't grow right and everything. All of a sudden he hating on you now.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, how did you do that, man? I want to learn how to get my yard like that. He's hating on you because you've been able to cultivate because you have a talent for it. Maybe if he had just taken the efforts and put more heart into it and love and care, maybe he could produce the same results. But he didn't even go into it for the same reason to begin with, because he just saw you and yours looking good. It took you and yours to look good for him to think about doing something better for himself.
Yeah.
So in boxing, as you apply that same metaphor, it's like they saw Wilder accomplishing things and doing things. It's like, man, I'm better than him. I can do better than him. He ain't even been doing it long. And they just gave him that medal. They just, and then turns out professionally, he could hit people and hurt them.
Yeah.
So when you have something like that, it can definitely make things look a little easier than they are. But then if you look at the numbers, 40-something people he's fought, and every single one of them have touched the canvas. Try that.
See what I mean?
That's hard as hell.
Yes, sir.
Every single guy has touched the canvas. So people are hating on the fact that this man has the ability to put you on your butt.
Yeah.
At least if he ain't going to knock you out, he could still put you on your rear end. Now, that takes ability. Talent and ability are two different things.
Yeah.
But there are people more talented, but they don't have that ability to put everybody on their butt.
Yeah.
So you see where the hate comes from?
Yeah.
And then he's a Southern brother.
Yeah.
So he has a Southern talk, and everything. fluent at talking publicly. So they like to put that down. But hey, have you ever heard some white folks from, the sticks talk to? You could barely understand what they say.
Yeah. That's
Why people ain't hating on them?
like real deep south.
What?
The gypsies and all of that, huh? Everybody, listen, people are people, okay? I understand what Deontay's saying. I understand what them people in the sticks from them white folks in the sticks saying. I understand it. But it's like when people want to put a wall of dissension, when they put a wall of prejudice up, this is what they do to make themselves feel better. It's not even about the person they're doing it against. It's about them. And whatever their shortcomings are, whatever they don't appreciate, whatever they despise or whatever, that's your problem, not his.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you say, man, I don't understand. Yes, you do. You really do. It just has to be reiterated and put in people's face, because you know what? When people are being nasty and ugly, they hate for it to be shown that they are nasty and ugly.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, brother. That's what it is.
Great job.
That's true. I'm gonna get ready to sign off because my phone is dying out. But I just wanted to come out here for a few minutes and give my take on certain subjects, man. But one thing, Wilder, before I go, Wilder, if he was, I mean, he probably know, but when you're a black heavyweight champion, you get into the ire of people. You get into their hearts. You raise their eyebrows. Look at the history, from Jack Johnson to now, and all the heavyweights. That's to people, men of color. It's just something about society and heavyweights. He should have recognized what he was into. And you don't have to say anything, but you fit the bill. And he was unapologetically black, so that he should have really understand. I can't afford to lose.
Yeah.
But he went into it, blindly. I really felt that way, and now he's getting the hate. I don't know if he's going to come back from it. That remains to be seen. But he's probably the less prepared heavyweight I've seen in a very long time, since Michael Dokes was knocked out by Jerry Coetzee. Well, he was high, but he was high off cocaine. But that's why I've been so hard on Wilder. And people make excuses for him, make it even worse. It's been 3 weeks since the fight, and people still talk about Glovegate. I don't want to hear that. I seen a guy lose. That's all. Hey, if you knew he was cheating, then beat him worse than what you was gonna beat him before. That's the way I feel about it. But Stormy B, man, and Tyrone Smith, thanks for inviting me on. And Laz D, I'm gonna jump on your show, man, and thanks for inviting me on. I'm gonna charge my phone, look at some old fights, man, and peace to the chat.
Salute, Curtis. Are you on OG Boxing tomorrow, bro?
What time?
No, I'm saying, are you on OG Boxing tomorrow?
Oh, well, I think I'm gonna pull back from the big channels, man. I'll talk to you behind the scenes on that.
Yeah, no worries.
But I think I'm gonna start going with the smaller channels. It's, it fits me more, man. More. I ain't gonna say, but I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Have a good evening.
Okay.
Wait, bro.
All right, peace, Kurt.
All right.
All right.
Curtis.
Yep.
Peace.
Love, brother. Oh man, it's great hearing people like you and Curtis, Stormy. He just knock things down. I mean, Tyrone knows his box, man. I've always said that to you, haven't I, Tyrone? You know your boxing, bro.
Nothing about old boxing.
No, but I mean, you're the Curtis and Stormy B man of today. You.
Yeah, ways. I mean, I look at.
Stormy and Curtis of they're OGs, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. I couldn't hope to match. I mean, my knowledge of modern boxing even today is probably less than what they forget of old boxing. Sorry, you guys are that thorough.
That'd be great.
Well, the one thing
Hello.
Tyrone was on my show, the Friday Night Chop Session, and he was still, kind of sorting out his displeasure with what transpired with the fight and with Wilder and Fury. I was telling him to, don't allow himself to get, too down about that or whatever, because this is what happens in the sport of boxing, which is why when you learn to embrace the sport and not the individual, you see, because think about it like this. If you saw a great basketball player and that's all you wanted to do was watch that ball player, he's going to play for as long as his career will allow him to perform. But if you focused on him only and for his career, and then when he's not around anymore, you just don't watch the sport no more. You just be like, oh, you've given everything up. But the fact that whatever captivated you about him that separated him from the others, you have to understand it's that very thing that makes what you thought you enjoyed most about him the beautiful thing. See, boxing is a great sport.
Yeah.
It is. And it has personalities. And the personalities vary tremendously. But when you learn to love the sport for what it really is, then you can actually understand and make proper assessments about what it is when you can be a little bit disappointed in an individual. I am disappointed in Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
I don't dislike him. I'm not throwing him down. But again, I know that based on the effort that was given that night and how everything shook out, it's like, wow. The reality is he didn't really know what that fight meant. Now he's learned a lot, and I'm sure he's taken a lot into consideration. And understand, to be able to be critical of someone doesn't mean that you're hating them.
No, yeah, I agree.
Understand also that in these times that which we live, that's what people try to turn things. They try to turn it on its end to be self-serving. You understand? Yeah. We now understand that people are out there saying certain things about Fury and this and that or whatever. My thing is, if we had taken care of business, that would be a mute issue, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down to knowing the sport. Knowing the sport is understanding, like I said on my Friday Night Chop Session over a week ago, going into the fight with Kalnaki and Helenius. I said, when they were saying your final thoughts on the fight, Stormy, and this and that, I was like, well, you always leave a window open for the banana peel.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it comes right up under somebody's foot and they be like, damn, where'd that come from? And they slip and they go down and it's it.
Yeah.
Kalnaki experienced that last week.
Yeah, real. Oh.
In his first fight that they gave him as a headline and everything else, over there in New York in front of all his people and everything, he got the bejesus beat out of him. Huh?
Yeah.
And the thing about it was people were shocked.
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked.
I was, told me. I was, bro.
I wasn't shocked because let me tell you something. When you got a guy who's limited against a guy who has some ability, this kind of thing can happen. Yeah. That's why boxing is great. I bet you didn't cry for Kalnaki, did you? You didn't shed no tears. You didn't get up out of your chair and go get a beer and start stumping around saying, man, this is bullshit. You was like, damn, I love boxing.
Nice.
That's what you say, damn, I love boxing. This dude got his ass whooped. It's funny. It's hell. Hey, there was people,
great.
When Deontay got his, people were saying the same shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I love boxing. Deontay, the dude knocking everybody out and everything, got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at him because the wheel turns. I've been on this earth long enough to know the wheel turns, brother.
Yeah.
Now, what you will get mad about is this. When a guy like Wilder, if he doesn't come back from this,
yeah,
if he doesn't make the effort to prove the naysayers wrong, to right the ship, to be able to go out there and say, you know what, I'm still a champion and I'm going to prove it to you. That's all you can ask of him.
Mm.
But when you see a guy like Prince Nassim, who after Barrera dogged him and humbled him, walk away from the sport, what do you have for him or a guy like that?
That's coward's way in my eyes.
Just a person who was enjoying the ride as long as it was good for him.
Yeah. And then when his wheels fell off, he didn't want no.
There you go. You see?
Yeah.
And those are not the people you really want in the sport. You really don't.
Yeah. Great.
You want that guy that's going to try to come back. Arturo Gatti, for as action-packed and limited a fighter he was, the one thing you couldn't take away from him is that damn heart he had.
Fucking
you know what I'm saying? And that's at the core of the sport. That's why you love the sport.
Yeah.
So in closing and saying all of that, brothers, it's like this. And I said this for Tyrone. I was like, man, don't get too down, because there'll be something about this sport when you love the sport itself that'll make you appreciate it and fall in love with it all over again. These individuals who pass through, they are characters. They are people who have personalities and this and that. They'll come and go, but the sport remains.
Yeah,
you have to understand why you love the sport, not the individual.
Legend, man. You should write a book, you know, G. You really should. You've just, it just flows off your tongue. It's so true. It is. Well, he does saying like Kawanaki getting knocked out, and you love it, and you're laughing and you're cheering. And then when your other favorite fighter gets beat, you're pissed off. You want to kick the TV, and you hate the sport and all that. It's so goddamn true, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
I still honestly now just so shocked, because I just, you know me, Laws, I don't really think too much of Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, he does a lot of feints and stuff, but he's not the masterful boxer people say he was. This is a guy.
I agree there, Tyrone. I totally agree with you.
I'll tell you, Tyrone, if he sticks around the sport, and I don't think he will, but if he sticks around the sport, somebody gonna get him.
Yeah.
It happens, bro.
I think he could be Dillian White, you know.
Yeah.
Or AJ might.
It could be, listen, it could be somebody like Ortiz. You know what I mean? It's like, if you stick around there long enough, that Kawanaki fight, what I noticed in that first round, when he was going in on Helenius, he was punching and doing. Helenius hit him with an uppercut to the belly.
Yeah. He
went, ugh. Yeah. And I was like, because you don't usually hear that through the TV. You don't. And I was like, this dude gonna be in some trouble. And he went back to his corner. He had a little red blemish under his eye.
Yeah.
I said, this gonna be a tough fight for this dude. And it went all downhill from there. And I was like loving it, man, because this is boxing. I love that. You know what I mean? You ever watch a pay-per-view card, and on the undercard, it's a couple of dudes that you didn't even know who they were. They mixing it up. They become the fight of the night. You be like, man, those guys put it on. You know, it's like, I love that. I want to see those guys again or whatever. That's boxing.
That was that Tony Harrison card.
The main event is always like, ho hum, you know, but that is those guys on the undercard. And the fans are cheering and shit. And it's like, you know, standing up for them and giving a standing ovation. That's what boxing is, bro. And that's what I love about the sport. I'm going to tell you something. These guys at the top of the sport, they got championship belts and shit. They don't want to fight each other. They don't want to do this. They exist. But there's always somebody, like a brother told me a long time ago, I used to work with. He said, there's always somebody out there pounding on a bag, ready for their chance.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You'll fucking damn right, Stormy. Oh, what a great live stream this has been. I'm well enjoying myself.
Wait, I gotta read some of these comments. I've been lazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a cigarette. I'll be back in a minute. Stormy, I want to finish up with what you were just saying. That was excellent, bro.
Okay.
Ken Johnson said a while ago, he said, why PBC can't have a 154 tournament. Yeah, exactly, right? No reason why they can't. Ken Johnson's point, he says that Wilder was doing too much before the fight and his mental preparation suffered. It could be, yeah. You know, for me, I think he might as well should have pulled out. I'm still just so shocked. I just don't think much of Tyson Fury at all. I think, you know, Wilder at 100%, who's improved his game, should take care of a guy like this fairly easily. And to see what I saw, you know, him not looking right that day and whatever was going on, I just shocked, really shocked. Yeah, Ken Johnson said it really feels like your dog getting hit by a car in front of you. Yeah, it does, man. It's shoot. And I said this before, if Wilder had lost to somebody like Dubois, you know, like somebody I respect, I'm making it personal, but if he had lost to somebody like that, I wouldn't say anything. I would be like, you know what? Dubois is, what, a year older than me. Wilder's pretty much 35. It's just passing the torch. It would have been whatever.
No. But see, let me tell you this, though. Because Wilder lost to who he did and how he did, this sets the stage for Wilder because he has to come back. Otherwise, it's all been a sham. You understand? That's honestly speaking. If you lose to Dubois, Dubois is a young up-and-coming talent. I don't think all that about him. I think he could be the future, but his future is not right now. So when you look at someone like him, he may look the part, but he's not necessarily the part. So when you see Wilder go out like he did, it sets the stage for him to come back and be somebody better than he was that first go around. And if he doesn't, it gives you a crystal view of what he is and where he's arrived. That's why it's like a litmus test. It's like, okay, this is the truth right here. It ain't over yet until they finish that story. But it's better to have gone through it than not, because it reveals to you what you need to know and what that fighter needs to know about themselves. More so you about yourself and what you're looking at. Because just like you say, you didn't respect Fury and this and that or whatever. You know, you could you could have a dislike for him or whatever, but he has ability and he's been effective and things like that. It takes someone with some ability and talent and everything to do something about that. And if Wilder ain't up to that task, that should make you feel more something about him than about Fury. Because then what would we call into question? Were all those other fights not real? Were they not what you were hoping that it was, you was looking at or whatever? I'm telling you, man. That's why I say it's more about you than what it is about them.
I think at this age, Wilder is he needs tweaks. I think his overall game, those flaws, those bad habits, unless he comes back like George Foreman and reinvent himself. I mean, those flaws are there. He needs more tweaks and other things, but I don't think that showed too much in this fight. It was more of what Wilder wasn't doing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just shocking result. I mean, and Fury, I just will never respect a person like that because here's a guy who complains every day about him having mental health. He doesn't have anything. I would love to have the mental health issues he has with that many M's in my bank account, supposedly. And then he uses drug. I'm 20. I'm not using drug. I'm not drinking. I'm not using drugs or drinking like he is. And the guy is 10 years older than me. And there's plenty of guys like me doing the right thing. So why can't he do the right thing? And he just always looks for somebody else to blame it on, or mental health this or mental health that, fake money to charity. He's just
fake money to charity.
Yeah, he's not, just for me, I don't really respect him at all, really. I don't think even in the ring, I don't think he's a great fighter. I don't see what a lot of other people see. And yeah, I think he's a bum.
I think Tyrone, I totally agree with you. When I don't know who it was, some fucking clown over here come out with a comment. I can't even think who it is, but I did see the comment. You've got to compare him to the next Ali, and I was like, no. Fuck off.
No,
no chance. But I can't take away from him that he's a bum. I can't say that he's a bum, but I definitely agree with what you've just said. I don't think he's this fucking fighter what the media are making him out to be, this greatest fighter and all that. But I believe, like going back to what Stormy said, there's going to be someone who's got his number. And that could be Dillian White, or it could be AJ. I mean, like going back to what Stormy was saying before about Robert Helenius and Kawanaki, I couldn't believe that. I woke up and it come up on my phone because I follow PBC, and I watched the fight on YouTube on the PBC fight. I was like, fucking hell. I thought Robert Helenius was done, especially after when Daryl Washington
got knocked out of, big teddy bear, the big love bear. Washington, and honestly, probably be time to hang it up.
Excuse me.
Pulled out of the bag, Kaunaki down the line. Okay, he would have been caught like that, but I didn't think he would lose to.
No, I didn't, bro. And that's where Stormy comes back again, saying you gotta love the sport. Because I don't know. That was a shock to me. I mean, I've never been a big Kawanaki fan, but I must admit, I had him in the top 10 as a prospect. I thought, I thought he could
like that. Like, how do you look like that? He looks worse than everybody, than most people on YouTube, honestly.
Yeah.
In the comment section, he looks worse than most people, every day. He looks worse than 80% of people today.
Well, Stormy at that on his live stream the other night, didn't you, Stormy? Saying it's a bit of a can't remember the words what you said, Stormy, but I can remember Stormy saying something about his weight.
Yeah, like he has rolls, he has a bra, he has everything. Like just these fucking hills on his stomach that like literally have an incline. I mean, his gut is so huge, and a lot of people make too many excuses. Oh, it's not bodybuilding. If you can fight this and that. But fat doesn't.
Professional fighter, though, you shouldn't look like that.
Yeah, fat doesn't help you. And let me tell you where Kaunaki was fighting. Who his audience was here. His audience was TV number 18 at Planet Fitness. It's turned Sports 1, and people are just walking past watching it. That was Kaunaki's audience. And when people say that, they turn over to me because I'm supposed to know about boxing. He said, he's a fighter? What can I say? Same thing in Fury Wilder 1. My friend turned over to me. He said, why is Wilder struggling with this guy? He should get him out of there easy. I said, yeah, he is a bum, isn't he? Fury, that is.
Can Can I ask you a question? And you, Stormy, do you think Wilder? I think he can. I think Wilder's going to knock him out this time.
He has to, otherwise it's over. Really, honestly.
Yeah.
Fight after this? Who will give him a chance? And at 35, what more can you do?
I think it could have been like what Curtis said. I think it could. Did he not prepare as good as for Fury this time? Going off the first fight, I don't know.
He should have pulled out. If he had that problem with his leg, I would have pulled out because he looked like he was just stuck in mud. He couldn't move. Because let's be honest here, if Wilder braced for impact and Fury threw everything he had, he's not knocking Wilder down.
No, he's fucking. That's what I mean. That's interesting in the sport, though. It's so interesting because you watch him against Otto Wallin. I mean, I've seen that fight loads of times, and he fucking struggled. He nearly got beat off Otto Wallin. He struggled. Otto Wallin gave him that work, and then I don't know. He just everything does seem to go as well. Me personally, I think Wilder just had an off night. I think several things just didn't go his way. But I do believe that extra weight what Tyson Fury put on played a big factor in it as well. Because he was leaning on him, he was choking him, and it's hard to get. You imagine that, a 19 stone, 2 pound guy leaning on you all the time. It's going to take. Oh no! I think Wilder will knock him out next time. No, I really do.
If I had somebody 19 stone, like you're saying, on me, I would have shot him. That's 100 pounds. I'm not going with that. I would shot him in the gut. That bitch.
Yeah, it's man. Like I say, and the same with Kawanaki, man. He's got no excuses though, because at the end of the day, it's not as if he's only looked like that for a couple of fights. He's like that all the time, isn't he? He's overweight.
His trainer, by the way, is like a fitness geek.
You're joking?
Yeah, search him up. Big muscles and everything. Trimble or something. His last name is Trimble. But he's like a fitness geek, and I think he's into the bodybuilding scene, and he trains at you've probably heard of Bev Francis in New York.
No.
But it's like it's a body
like a franchise gym or something.
Yeah. It's like one of those. I don't know if Olympia. I don't think Olympia sponsors gym, but Olympia athletes go to this. Really a big deal, like in bodybuilding circles, everything. And he
looks like butterbean.
Fit as but when you're getting paychecks,
That's what I'm saying. And it's not Tyrone. It's different if he's just starting off in his career like that, and as he's getting bigger and bigger, beating better opponents, then he obviously should start taking it serious. But it seems to me that he hasn't, and he's beaten some good fighters as well, hasn't he? He beat Gerald Washington. He beat a hell of a fight with Charles Martin.
Yeah, Charles Martin had started earlier. He would have won that fight because I noticed
I agree that. Yeah, Martin.
And bad after the 6th round. Kalinacki looked like he was glad to see the final bell there.
Yeah.
He basically got Gerald. Gerald Washington is. I love seeing him down there his last fight because I turned around and I was like, man, we said we would happen. We said that would happen.
Yeah.
But, Kalinacki, who else he beat?
Beating some all right fighters though, aren't he?
Martin Washington.
Yeah. Did he ever fight Duap? No, that was Fat Dusty, wasn't he? Fat Dusty Miller fought Duapas.
I think Duapa is an okay fighter, actually. He's yeah. Because he took Robert Helenius' own and knocked him out in wherever, Sweden or Norway, wherever he's from.
Yeah.
But Kalinacki, he needs
he had that fight with Dillian White, didn't he, Helenius? And
Yeah,
Oh man, Dillian White was trash, but so was fucking Robert Laney. Seems like he does what he.
it was like in that second round, he hit Dillian White and he hurt him.
Yeah,
And he just kind of gave up. And on the video, Mr. Boxing Today has a video. It's like Helenius post fight, and he said, "Guys, I tried everything." He said, "I hurt my hand. I needed the money." So it's just really the realities of boxing.
yeah.
You know, but for him to come back like this, I'm very happy for him. I'm glad he did it. You know, because he was on his way out in that fight himself.
Yeah,
And
yeah. He's a bloody shot. Can you remember Olenis's career though? At the start, they had
Sam Peter, Lamont Brewster, all the Klitschko opponents.
yeah, and they were saying he's the next Klitschko, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
He can hit hard though. I'll give him that because he hit Kawanaki with some beautiful shots. I find Olenis like very slow for such. I mean, I know he's a big dude. He is a hell of a big dude, but I find him very slow. But man, he's got pop in his hands. But he fucking totally embarrassed Kawanaki.
Yeah.
Kawanaki was fucking
The nightmare. Nordic.
That referee didn't even rule that first knockdown as a knockdown, did he? He said it was a slip.
Yeah, I couldn't see at first. I needed a replay.
Yeah, it was a knockdown.
Replay, I was like, okay, yeah, it was that right hand. And he threw that right hand going backwards. That's what was really surprising. And he still hurt him.
Yeah. I mean, it's like this Joe Joyce and Usyk fight. Like I spoke to Stormy about it, and I'm sticking with what I'm saying. I don't know who's going to win that fight because I've heard a few of the brothers in the LDBC big up Daniel Dubois saying, "No, he's this, that, and the other." And I do like Daniel Dubois, but that Richard Lartley fight for me sums him up in a nutshell. I don't think he's. I don't know. I might get criticised and all this shit, but I don't think Daniel Dubois is everything what everyone's trying to make out he is. Because when I watched that Richard Lartley fight with Mike streamed it to my phone, and me and Mike watched it, and I was like, I know he's only young, and I know he'd only had a few
22, I think.
fights, but there's several things with Dubois what I can't get out of my head. Is one, he's very flat-footed. Two, I find him very stiff. And three, he doesn't. His head is just there to be it.
Yeah.
He doesn't move his head, and he's a big unit of a guy as well. I mean, I don't know boxing like you lot, so I'm just only going off what I've seen, and I'm just thinking against someone like who can. Joe Joyce, man. Joe is as big and slow as he is.
He can take a shot.
Man, he's got a hell of a chin.
I
And
think
the guy can pop as well.
Dubois needs to go to the body because I know Joyce doesn't like it there after the Brian Jennings fight. But I think the reason most of us look to Dubois,
Yeah.
honestly, why I look to Dubois is because there's nobody else out there really. If you think about it,
Good point. Yeah.
as a future heavyweight, we always looking for hope. We're always looking for that next guy, right? And especially if you live here in the U.S., we don't have anybody who George Arias or Steven Shaw, guys out of shape. I mean, after what Mike told me about Jermaine Franklin behind the scenes, I'm not very fond on him either. We don't have anybody. All our athletes, all our potential boxers are NFL players, are basketball players.
Right.
And I don't blame them. They get paid way more money. So
Michael Hunter, though. I like Michael Hunter. I do. I quite like that dude.
oh yeah, you think he's a solid heavyweight, but as a heavyweight for the future,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
heavyweights, we don't have that here.
I mean, I watched Pokey the other day when Pokey did a video on Dillian White, and he was sort of like cursing Dillian White down, saying, "Why is he not fighting Ortiz? Because we know he's ducked him." But then he said, why is he not fighting Michael Hunter? Why did he pick Povetkin?
Yeah.
Dillian White to me now over here is he's just a new version of Fat Dusty Miller. He just wants to fight all of AJ's leftovers, just like how Fat Dusty Miller just wanted to fight all of Wilder's leftovers.
He had the nerve.
Resume of fighting leftover fighters.
He had the nerve to say, he said, me fighting Povetkin is a better fight than AJ beat versus Pulev. But AJ destroyed Povetkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of AJ fighting him again? I mean, there's nobody really out here, you know, as far as talent for these guys, and they don't want to fight Ortiz. And Ortiz is getting on.
Yeah, I don't think no one. I was reading an article on Ortiz the other day.
In trouble.
Struggling for getting an opponent, didn't he? I think I read where he said he was back in June or July.
July.
Yeah, but he's struggling to get an opponent. I wonder why. Nobody wants that smoke with him, only Wilder. And
I remember when he fought. First time I saw Ortiz fight was him versus Latif Coyote. A long time ago now, I think 2010.
Excuse me.
And that guy had just come off of a draw versus Tarver. Now, granted, Tarver was way past it and was a cruiserweight, but you look on BoxRec, it was supposed to be one of the top cruiserweights. And he drew with him, and he went up to heavyweight, and he just got destroyed by Ortiz. But I know Ortiz had a failed drug sample and everything. But once I saw that, I was like, I don't think nobody want to fight this guy. And I think he slowed down probably around the Tony Thompson fight, Brian Jennings fight. Brian Jennings fight was probably his best performance, but
yeah,
it was a bit off step. And I think even when Wilder fought him, he weren't, 100%. Really.
Well, I did actually say that. That was a fight. What I would have loved to have seen round about 2015, 2014.
When
did Wilder become champion? Was it 2015?
Yeah, beginning of 2015, January 2015.
Yeah. Because I can always remember reading articles on Ortiz, the boogeyman, he's ducked and all that. I mean, Eddie Hearn strategically ducked Ortiz for AJ with that bullshit where he signed him on a free fight deal. I think, did he have 2 fights or 1 fight? I know he fought Dave Allen, and then he got rid of him.
I don't know why Dave Allen got stuck to fight him.
Yeah.
And now $10,000.
Yeah, and he promised him if he signed the free fight deal,
he'll fight AJ.
Yeah, that he was next.
The biggest thing was probably where he was interim champion, and he was looking at being moved up to the full champion. And Eddie Hearn told him, just take this step aside money, and take that vacant belt and put it on the line versus Joshua Klitschko, and you'll get your.
That's right, brother.
Never got it. You never got it.
It's no man, it's fucking frustrating.
And now people are talking about Fury AJ. That won't happen.
Say again, bro.
Fury AJ won't happen when they think it will.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will.
It won't happen.
Because you've got, excuse me, you've got to look into this. How I've been looking into this. Just say, for instance, if Fury beats Wilder, I'm not saying he is going to, I'm just saying if he beats him, then Fury is really, he's going to call the shots, because if Fury fights Wilder and beats him, AJ's going to fight his mandatory, which is Pulev. And if he beats Pulev, nobody, well, as far as I'm aware, nobody really gives a fuck about that fight. No, I don't even think people have even heard of Pulev over here.
No.
So then, if Derek Chisora fights Usyk, yeah, and he beats Usyk, or Usyk beats him, I think if Usyk beats Chisora and they make the fight between AJ and Usyk, I think people over here will be more interested in that fight. Or, in fact, saying this wrong, I think people in the boxing world might be more interested in that fight because obviously Usyk's come up, he's unbeaten, blah, 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 and all that. Whereas I don't think people in the boxing world would be interested in seeing Derek Chisora fight AJ because Derek Chisora's been beat that many times. But I think people over here might be intrigued by it because it's like what we call a local derby, where two people from the same town are fighting. But just putting that aside, just say he fights his two mandatories, and Fury beats Wilder if he does beat him. I struggle to see how they're going to make this fight because Fish Eyes and Eddie Hearn just do not see eye to eye. Barry Hearn as well. Matchroom and Queensbury Promotions just do not see eye to eye. Then on top of that, you've got the network. BT have got the WBC champion. Sky Sports have got the IBO, all the rest of the belts. So there's going to be a problem over the network of who's going to air the fight. Who because it's going to be pay-per-view. Which network is going to air the fight? Then you've got the fighter's purse. Well, not so much the fighter's purse, but you get the fighter who's going to want what. I can't see them agreeing to a 50-50 deal. I just honestly believe I don't think we're going to see that fight. I know Eddie's pushing for it like he's never pushed before. He certainly didn't push that hard when Wilder had the belt, but now Fury's got it. He's pushing for it because of that. But I think the network and all. I don't know. I just think I can't see it, man. And if I do, I think there's going to be that much politics invested in that fight. I can just not see that fight happening.
Yeah,
just quickly, sorry, Tyrone. BT, I don't know if you're aware, on BT over here are nowhere near as powerful as Sky. But over the last few years, BT have just gone from being a sort of mediocre network to just because BT is run by the government. It stands for British Telecoms. It's a phone company. It's British Telecoms. It's owned by the government, and then they obviously started investing in internet, TV, and blah blah blah. But over the last few years, BT have got bigger and bigger and bigger. They've taken like for instance, when I had Sky a few years ago, we used to have all the Champions League, and the Champions League is all the top 4 teams from Europe who play in a tournament, and then obviously the winner becomes one winner, which means like you're the best team in Europe, and it's massively followed over here. BT took that away from Sky, and it's not been on Sky for years. They paid something like 300 and odd million for the rights of over a certain amount of years to have that shown on BT. They're taking away Premier League games from them, so BT ain't gonna be one of them dogs what are just gonna, if Sky say bow down, BT ain't gonna roll over on its back and piss in the air. They're gonna put a fight up. They want what they want, if you know what I mean, and that's where I see the problem with the networks, Tyrone. My bad, bro. Go on, bro.
Yeah.
Salute Storm, you still there, brother?
Salute Jacob Jennings.
Yeah, salute Jacob Jennings.
Who doesn't Comcast from over here own Sky Sports? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they do. And they're owned by Time Warner. Every company is owned by another company.
Yeah.
You see, it's like I saw this food table about all our favorite little brands, all chained back to 1 or 2 parent companies. Really crazy.
Yeah.
But it might end up. You're talking about, a fight of that magnitude, whether it be Wilder, AJ, or Fury AJ. I think they're just gonna have to do what ESPN and Fox did.
What did they do? Sort of split it or something?
Yeah, I mean the total pay-per-view revenue was just shared. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
1.2 million was the buys, total buys.
Yeah.
So it's pretty huge actually for when they started promoting.
Yeah. You see Tyrone as well, brother, over here. And we invented boxing, did you know?
Yeah, Queensberry rules.
Yeah. But just putting that aside, in the however boxing's been going, just say for instance 120 years, whatever, it's never been done over here. We've never had undisputed heavyweight championship fight over here. So that's the biggest. I mean, it's the biggest fight in boxing in my eyes, the heavyweight crown, the undisputed. But to actually have it over here in the UK on soil, it's never been done. So that's where I don't know, man. There's so many things what are gonna be an argument for. Like say Frank and the Hearns, Frank Warren and Barry Hearn absolutely hate each other. I can't see them agreeing a deal for starters. I mean, I did read something the other week. Big John Fury coming out saying,
that guy.
"Oh, fucking he is."
Porky was talking about how he and I'll
get 250 million pounds to fight. Fucking if AJ wants to fight Tyson Fury, they've got to stump up 250 million pounds. Fucking hell.
Here's wait, I'm about to here.
What you doing? Sharing it?
Yeah.
Oh, Porky's fucking ace. Man. I love Porky. You're always in his live chat, aren't you?
Yeah. Or I was. I haven't been on in a while.
Yeah, he's great. He's
come on, but I don't know what happened. I emailed his little his assistant, and they never got back to me.
Yeah, Porky's like Stormy, isn't he? He's an OG, knows his boxing, and they tell it how it is.
Here. This is the tough guy.
Yeah, Manchester Evening News. That's my local paper. That
Tyson Fury jail for gouging a man's eye out. John Fury left Odie Sykes. Isn't he related to, or I remember Porky saying he's related to somebody named Paul Sykes, but I don't really know who Paul Sykes is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's apparent. What I'm trying to get at is apparently he was crying in court, and he sent an open letter to the judge and read it in front of him.
He can't get in America, can he?
No.
Is that since Donald Trump stuck his foot down?
No. Before that. Wait.
All right.
What did he say? Where was he crying? He was crying. I gotta find where he was crying. Talks about him being this big tough guy. He was crying.
He wasn't he a professional boxer himself? His dad.
Yeah, a bad one.
The Mirror, fucking hell, good paper that, the Daily Mirror.
I'm trying to see where he was. He said an open letter. I'm trying to find this.
Excuse me.
What the hell? Here. During his trial, the Manchester court heard that John had declared himself the toughest man in Britain before launching.
Get out of here.
But broke down in tears as he made a desperate plea for mercy in front of his boxing son. His son saw this. And what he did, John told the court, "I'm worried about my son. His boxing career is on the line. If I could give him my own eye to him to get back to my children, I would do. I'm begging you for me life."
Get out of it.
Open letter.
Britain.
He wrote an open letter. Said toughest man in Britain. Come on.
Give over. Tell you what, the toughest man in Britain ain't from fucking the England. They're the Scots, mate. I tell you. The Scots or the Irish, they're fighting people, man. Not the English. Nothing against English. I'm English myself, but different ball game when you go to Scotland, man. Them Scots, they love a fight. They love the whiskey and they love fighting. They love football, fighting, and whiskey. Same with the Irish. That's what they like. Right, Tyrone, I'm going to get up out of here, bro, because it's
All right.
21 in the morning over here.
I guess
I'll be up bike all day tomorrow, so I've got to be up early.
Yeah, Jacob Jennings. I think there was some UFC Brazil or something like that. But yeah, I guess I'll cut it short then.
That was a fantastic live stream. Stormy, you still there, brother?
I'm still here, bro.
Guys, listen, I called you before, but I didn't think you heard this.
Well, when you called me, I might have went and got me a drink of water. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, Stormy, before I get off here?
No, man, we could pretty much shut it down. I know Laws is late over there, and I just hey, if you guys didn't see that show today, check it out, bro.
Oh,
it was very good.
Forward to it. I know I have a long drive home tomorrow, so I'll definitely catch that on my archive. Have to.
I'm going to go and watch that now. I'm going to put him to bed. I'm going to go and watch that. I'm going to go and listen to it, put it on the big screen in the front room and listen to it.
Yep.
But yeah, I just say thanks for having me on, man. You know, I always support you, Tyrone, when I can. So it's like, you know, appreciate that. Hey, Laws, how you like that Friday night chop session set, huh?
Yeah, that was sick. That was sick. Do you know what, Stormy? I don't know how you do it all, man. You've got some fucking fantastic ideas and your setups. I wish I could do what you do.
Oh, I can help you. We can talk on Discord behind the scenes. I can help you get it set up.
Because I don't even know how to work my laptops properly, me, Stormy. I don't. I only know the basic things of clicking on my emails, and I don't even know how to copy and paste a link. And that's no bullshit. I don't. You can ask Tyrone if you want to come in our WhatsApp group. Stormy, you're more than welcome. But when I do it, I have to send. Don't Tyrone, I send the links via email to each one because I don't know how to copy and paste.
Well, I have WhatsApp here on my desktop, so I just I hit invite and I copy on my clipboard and I throw it in the group, and then I'll go and email it to you guys in a different from the email because I don't get notifications on my Discord at all.
Yeah, you see, I do.
No notifications.
And this is one reason why I won't put WhatsApp on this computer. I had it on my Chromebook, which I'm on now, and it took it off my phone.
Right.
I don't know how it did it, but it took it off, and I had to get rid of WhatsApp off my Chromebook and put it back on my phone. But I mean, I've got another laptop here. This is the one what I use all the time. This Windows one. Yeah, and this is all Microsoft. I ain't got a fucking clue about that. That's what I'm saying, Tyrone. When you sent me the email, it doesn't even come up on that one. I had to go to my Chromebook and get it. That's why I'm on my Chromebook.
It'll say on my WhatsApp, like it's connected to my phone, and it'll say, "Do you want to use?" Like I can't use it on here and on my phone simultaneously. It'll say, well, your phone on your battery. From my laptop, it'll say my phone on my battery is on like 10%. I said, well, what does that matter? I'm looking at it from here.
Yeah.
Why is it worried about? It'll like suspend it on my phone to use it from here. I don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, but Stormy, respect, man. That was great. You live streamed the other night. I was fucking enjoying that. And you got come up with some great content. Tyrone, you should start making videos, brother. And
I have to. I'm just been so lazy sometimes.
I know you've got your school and stuff, haven't you?
I've got to get it together. I've got to get.
I'm down the same street as you, bro. It's hard because I work 50 hours a week, and then I just don't have the time to.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to find the time to do videos because I love making videos. I'm always exploring, and each video I'm doing is slowly getting better. But I find it very hard to have the time to do it because I do 50 hours work. I go to the gym after work. My son comes around here. I just there's always something I'm doing. But I think people like Stormy who put in that great content.
I can
watch Stormy's channel rise and rise. You gotta think, Stormy. I've been with Stormy a long time from the beginning, and Stormy me from the beginning. But I had my channel a hell of a long time before Stormy. I've had my channel nearly 2 years. But people like Stormy deserve more subs because his content. Stormy, you're always continuously reinventing things. You do different. You don't only just talk about boxing. You know what I mean, like with your wine and dine and things like that.
Yeah.
But your channel now, Stormy, is just gone. I've seen your numbers since Christmas go from 400 just like that, and it's when people do things like that, man, they deserve the respect and they deserve the subs.
Yeah, I see. I only made one video on this channel, and that was the Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
It was like even that video. I mean, it was so poorly made, but even to do that took me about 30 minutes. I could only imagine how much work, Stormy, that you do.
Exactly.
I can only imagine because I know that green screen stuff and some of the cutting and pasting and audio. Shoot.
And you know what, Tyro? I don't know if Stormy can vouch for this, but I can. What I've always found with making videos, your best videos what take you about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to make a 10-minute video.
Yep.
You don't get in subs. No subs. You don't get many views.
Yep.
And then the shit videos, what you just sort of just chuck it together, takes about half an hour. You get loads of views off them. I always think to myself, how the hell did I get fucking... I don't get many likes, but I think the most I've ever had on a video is about 22, but I've often thought, how the hell did I get that many likes off that video when it was basically just a tit-for-tat video what was just thrown together?
Sometimes it's who the video is about and stuff too, you know.
Oh, so yeah.
People will come flocking if you say something about AJ for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They will freaking come out the woodwork. If you say something about Canelo, same thing.
Yeah.
Mayweather, same thing. And I'll tell you something. One thing about my projects, you can actually hang your hat on. I don't do clickbait in my titles.
No.
My titles always mean something.
I know, Stormy, yeah.
My titles always mean something. It is some kind of related to the content in a more deeper way. You know, I think my title's out.
Yeah. Yeah, facts, bro. Yeah. Because that's what I mean, Stormy. It's like that fucking... Oh, God, who's that guy from America? That fucking guy who hates Wilder. Can't think of his name.
Merchant.
No, he's a YouTuber. Got a YouTube channel. Count or something. I can't think of his name. I know Alpha Player always goes in on him.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name. Count or something. But Alpha Player always goes in on him saying he's got a fucking dirty house and shit haircut. Al fucking hates him. Say again, bro.
Newton.
What?
Sean Newton.
No, not him. Not that pedophile. No, not him. No, he's a black dude from America. I can't think of what he's called. Alpha Player always goes in on him. Al hates him. He hates the LDBC and he's always making videos about Wilder, but I forgot where I was going with this now.
Whatever.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry, that was it. Yeah, his video titles, like Stormy does, there's always clickbaiting. Breaking news, Joshua said this. Breaking news, Wilder said that. Breaking news, fucking Luis Ortiz. Everything's breaking news. And then when you, well, I didn't used to read them, but I sometimes it would come up because they recommended on your YouTube. You know, if you follow boxing, you just get automated recommended channels, and you click on it and think, what the fuck's this? He's like chasing.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. It's like that shit. Breaking news. I fucking hate to see that shit now.
Stormy, exactly. That's what Brooklyn was saying last week. Brooklyn said the same thing, didn't he, Tyrone? He said, I fucking hate people who put breaking news.
In fact, if you don't want me to watch something, just fucking put breaking news in the title, and I'm guaranteed not to check it out.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm just one of them now, Stormy me. I accept I've got a small channel. I'm never going to have many subs, but I'm happy with the subs I've got. I'm happy mixing it with the brothers from across pond. I'm happy mixing it with the little small handful of brothers that I've got. Met some great friends off the internet like you two and Mike and Alex and Brooklyn Child and other people. I'm just happy doing that. I'm never going to be a big channel. I haven't got the time to spend on the channel, which I wish I did have, because I love boxing. I love talking boxing. But at the same time, Stormy, like you just said, I ain't one of them clout chasers or clickbaiters who's just going to put breaking news. This he said that on Twitter. He said that on Facebook. No.
See, that's why I like, if you notice, I could have been trying to do a stream myself, right? Like right now, while you guys are on, no, I'd rather come on and be with you guys and talk with you guys, and we could give good boxing talk. Matter of fact, I do some of my best boxing talk with you guys. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When I come and join with you, because it's genuine. It's not me trying to grandstand or anything like that. That's when I can like really share, because I know you guys will listen to what I have to say, but also whoever you have in your chat or your listening audience out there, they get a chance to hear me talk about my perspective of boxing, but it's all helping each other. You know what I mean? That's why I don't mind, man. I can come and talk to you guys. It could be fucking 3 people in the chat. I don't care. Yeah. Because we're going to talk real boxing. But I'll tell you this, as long as you're talking real boxing, like you had Kurt on a little earlier, it's always going to be good. And if somebody catch a replay or something like that, next thing you know, you'll see somebody popping up in your chat listening to you because you've had the guys on and stuff like that. You know, and if you notice, even on my channel, I've had Tyrone on there. You know, I was like, hey, come on, be on the chat if you want to get on the panel. I'm not that kind of guy that's not like, willing to have somebody be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're very fair bloke, Stormy. I'll give you credit there, bro. You're always inviting people on your channel.
Yeah.
It's not just that, Stormy. You always play your part as well, bro. You like you just said, you don't give a fuck if there's only 3 people in there. You'll still come over and do your part. And that's respect, Stormy, man.
I commend just the effort. Like none of us need to do none of us really need to do this, and I'm not really doing much. But Stormy, you really go
Stormy,
to teach people, how to really look at boxing the right way. I swear, man, since you've talked about, and it sounds so simple in hindsight, just keep your hands up, but we analyze fights better off of listening to some of the stuff you say. Honestly, I look at fights more clear than I did, say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where I was just seeing a tear up.
Exactly, Tyrone. These people like Stormy and Curtis and Scrapbook and Blood and all people like that. That's why I've always said I would much rather listen to and talk about fighters from the past and fighters of today, because people like Stormy, Blood, Curtis, Scrapbook, there ain't many of them about, man.
Man, I love the whole
Priceless people like Stormy and them. The priceless people, because the knowledge of what them brothers know about the sport of boxing. And I ain't trying to suck up to you, Stormy. You know me, bro. You people like that, the priceless, and there ain't many of them about.
Yeah.
That's why you've got to give people like Stormy and Scrapbook and Blood and Curtis, you got to give them mad respect, because they open doors. I think I know lots about boxing. Do I fuck? I'm just a fucking... I'm nothing compared to people like that.
Yeah, man. And listen, I understand what you're saying, and I don't take it as you sucking up or anything. And I appreciate the things that you say, but just I give you an example. Like we're on your channel sometime, or Tyrone's channel, and you know we got Mike on there, and Mike say stuff, and me and Mike go back and forth sometimes, because I'm so passionate. I'm so passionate, you know, about the sport and what I believe in what I have to say about the sport. But I respect everybody. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, make somebody look bad or nothing like that. But when I have a principle or a foundation where I stand upon it firmly. And that's all it is that you see from me, because I'll come right back the next day and be on like it was nothing. You know, I remember one time, you know, Mike got off. He was like, oh, you know, he's tired. He got off. But it's just that as strong as he feel about his point, I feel that about my point. Yeah. But I like the fact that we can voice it, and we don't have to get angry and upset at each other and not want to talk to each other or nothing like that. But it makes for even better shows, because we can talk and have these discussions and put them out in the floor. You like that, you know? But that's all it is when it's coming from me. It's my passion.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, Stormy? That you've said that, bro. Sometimes I've often thought that, because sometimes I've missed a little bit when you and Mike have gone back and to it. And the same with Tyrone. When we was talking a few weeks ago about Josie Parker, because I always go for a cigarette,
right? And
then the next day I watch the replay back, and I always see things what I've missed, you know, when I've not been in the room. And I think I've often thought, fucking hell, I hope Stormy and Mike are going at it again. But I think what it is exactly what you've just said, Stormy. Mike's a very passionate guy, and you're a very passionate guy, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you don't see eye to eye with him, or he won't see eye to eye with him. And same with Tyler. I've had it with Mike. Sometimes I've just wanted to go like that to Mike. Bing, be quiet, mate. You're gone. But Mike's my brother. I love him to bits. It makes, like you say, it makes better for his show.
Yeah, it does. And like, even when Mike is doing like his shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Put in a comment, let him know I stop by and support and stuff like that. Yes. Because he has his position, you know, he has what he stands on, and I respect the hell out of that. It's just like he'll say some stuff on his stream that I won't say on mine. You know what I mean? It's like that's what makes it all what it is. And yes, as I said earlier, that metaphor about boxing, when I was telling Tyrone, I was like, love the sport, but you know, don't worry so much about the individual. Because Mike, when Mike doing his thing, he's another person out here putting out content. He has his lane. He has his perspective. You have to respect that. It might not be for you, but you respect what they do, because it takes all of us doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, there has never been a more true adage than variety is the spice of life. If you don't have variety and everything is the same, then it becomes like mundane. It's robotic. It's like, man, it's stale.
Stale, yeah. Fucking right, Stormy. See, man, that's what I mean. That's what I love about talking to you, man. You're fucking great with your words. I just love it all, man. Like I say, I've never been one of, as well as that stuff. I mean, I find some people just do it because. Oh, I don't want to mention his name. I have to talk to you behind the scenes back, but I had one brother who's just permanently. He's basically he's only done it for the money. You probably wouldn't know him, Stormy. I'd have to talk to you behind the scenes. I don't want to mention his name, but I said to myself, and I said to Mike ages ago, I said, he's just doing it for the money, this guy. Because he's always like asking for donations and shit. It's none of us. None of us. I ain't talking about any of us, but I'd have to. You do know him, Stormy, but I'd have to tell you behind the scenes who it is. And I just thought to myself, I don't like people like that. I love donating to channels. I've got no problem with donating to channels. But I'm one of them guys. I'm like I said, when we pay-per-view fights, I only pay for pay-per-view fights what means something. I don't pay for pay-per-view fights like what don't mean anything, like this Chisora and Usyk and Dillian White and Povetkin. You know, I don't like people who ask for donations all the time. I'll donate to my channel and blah, blah, blah. I donate to channels who give out great content, and I can see in their content that they deserve it because they've been putting in that work. Do you know what I mean?
Right, I understand. Yeah. That's like me. You know, I've donated to channels.
Yeah.
And given support and everything. But it's really tough, man. When
I've never heard you ask for a donation, though, Stormy. I've never heard you ask.
I don't. And you know what? And even if I've said anything about the donation or reminding people that I do have a button you could press for the PayPal or whatever, I usually even throw some humor or something around there.
I know you do, bro.
Yeah, because I'm not in it for the money.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, brother.
But I do love the support and the respect that I get behind the content I produce. When I go live and I see those familiar faces, I know who supports what I do. It's like, and if they never give me a dime, I just appreciate them being there to support me.
Facts.
You know,
facts.
We got that sister out there, Sister Denise Wards, man. She's always encouraging me, and she's always saying kind things. She lets me know that she and her husband watch my content, and they like me, you know, for what I bring. And sometimes, like, if I don't even feel like doing something, I think about people like that or people like yourself, and then I say, no, I'm gonna go ahead and do the show, or I'm gonna go ahead and put this video out. Because that's what I think about. Because somebody out there is waiting to hear from me, you know.
Yeah,
that's what drives me.
Tell you what, Stormy, man, I see Denise Wards everywhere, you know, brother. Everywhere. I see her in Main Man. I see her. She's everywhere. That queen. She. I tell you what.
That's how you know she's genuine. You know.
Yeah, she's the original hardcore boxing queen, and even. Brooklyn said a few weeks too, we need to get her on, man. But I don't think she was wanting to get on. She was like, think about it. But Brooklyn said the same thing. Denise, I can't thank you enough. You're everywhere. Everywhere I go, I see Denise. She puts everyone. A lovely, lovely woman. Yeah. Listen, bros, I've got to go, man, because it's 1:30. What time is it?
All right.
1 in the morning. Right, Stormy, I'll speak to you soon, brother. We need to. Stormy.
Yeah.
Can you use Messenger on YouTube? Because there is a Messenger on YouTube, you know.
Somehow I haven't figured out how to do it myself.
Yeah,
I heard it there, but
I did it once because I'm connected to Underrated Darkness, Mike.
I'll end this, bro.
Holt Bradley, I think it was, and you can direct message on it. If not, Stormy, send me a Discord message.